Greetings, and thank you for tuning into this talk. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nandi, and I am very passionate about helping people to break free from self sabotage and to step into the life that they feel called to live. And today I want to talk about something that many of us experience, those moments when we sabotage the very thing we say we want. And I want to ground this in a personal story about a time I almost self sabotaged my dream job. And this was back in 2021. At the time, I was working as a program manager for the federal government, and I was with them for about 21 years. And so it was the only organization I ever worked for in my adult life. And over those years, I worked really hard to build a strong reputation. I became known as an expert in my field, but at the same time, I was feeling tired. I was tired of the politics. I was tired of feeling boxed in. I was tired of doing work that no longer felt aligned with me. And I was craving something more. I felt like I was being called to do something more expansive, work that felt more meaningful. And I knew I wanted to do something that allowed me to work with programs and to work with leaders to create better decisions for the people they serve. And one day I got an email and it was from a program leader, and she was reaching out to invite me to interview for a position with her team. And when I learned about the role this team was playing, which what they were doing was supporting multiple programs and leaders with big important decision, I instantly knew this was it. This was the job that I was looking for. But when it came time for me to actually do the interview, I noticed a part of me felt scared. Scared of leaving the only organization I knew, scared of joining a group I knew nothing about, scared of starting over. I remember hearing a voice in my head saying, after everything you've built, you're just going to walk away, especially at your age. And at the time, I was 43 years old. And now looking back, I realized that voice is what I call your inner saboteur. That part of us that shows up whenever we're stretching beyond our comfort zone. Sometimes it feels like an energetic block or an invisible force pulling us back into what feels like the familiar. And sometimes for others, it looks like procrastination or perfectionism or overworking. But for me, it was the urge to bail on this interview. I remember my mind telling me that it's safer for us to stay with the devil we know rather than step into something new. I'm sure many of you can relate to that. But at the same time, I picked up a meditation practice and I was learning from Thich Nhat Hanh on how to notice my thoughts without getting entangled with them and without letting them control my actions. So instead of reacting, I paused. And in that pause, I was able to see something that I couldn't see before. And that was my belief about staying put in the same job. It wasn't mine. It was something learned. It was learned from watching both my parents and my grandparents staying in the same job for most of their lives. Even from my Caribbean culture, where you were encouraged to find that stable government job and stay with it until you retire. And somewhere along the way, their belief became my belief. And yes, at one point, that belief served a purpose. It helped me to build a comfortable life for myself. But now it was the very thing that was holding me back from expanding to that next level. Now, here's a truth that might be hard to hear, and that is many of us are living life this way. Many of us are living by beliefs we never chose, beliefs shaped by our families, our environment, our culture. And we rarely stop to question or challenge them. We accept them as facts. We build our lives all around them. And in turn, it limits our growth, it snuffs out our potential. But when we notice a belief, especially one that is in conflict with our expansion, and we pause, we create space. We create space for a new choice, a conscious choice. And sometimes that choice is very simple. It's either stay with the familiar, the predictable, even though it's limiting your evolution, or you can move toward what feels true for you. Maybe that's following your calling. Maybe it's pursuing something that excites you. Maybe it's leading with your purpose. And so for me, I chose to move forward with that interview. And the beautiful part about pausing, it gives us a chance to upgrade our beliefs. We get to decide what we want to believe instead. And for me, I chose to believe that I can honor what I built and still follow what was calling to me in that moment. And now I'll be honest with you, the fear didn't disappear, but it softened. And again, it gave me that space to decide how I wanted to show up. I could show up fearful or I can show up fully. And that's exactly what I did. I remember showing up confident, engaged, and was taking up space. And yes, I did get the job. And it was the best decision I made in my career because I was able to do something that felt very meaningful, work that made a long lasting impact in the organization. But now I want to invite you to explore this for yourself by joining me in a short journaling exercise. So I invite you to grab a pen, to grab your journal, but before we begin writing, let's slow things down by shifting out of our minds and into our bodies and allow yourself to get comfortable where you are. And whenever you're ready, you can gently close the eyes or lower your gaze, whatever feels right for you. And just begin to notice the floor beneath your body. Or maybe notice your cushion or your chair underneath you, supporting you. And just begin to tune into your breath. And just notice where your breath feels most aligned for you. Maybe it's at the tip of your nostrils. Maybe the rise and fall of your chest, or the rise and fall of your belly. Or maybe you might sense it in your back body. Let's take a deep breath in through our nostrils. And as you exhale, do so through your mouth. Take another deep inhale. And a slow, soft exhale. Inhaling deeply. And exhaling fully. And now just return to your normal breathing pattern. And I want you to think about something that has been calling to you for some time. Maybe it's a dream that you keep postponing. Maybe it's aspirations to create or build or express something. Or maybe it might be as simple as just showing up as a better version of yourself. And as you think about this thing that is calling to you, what feelings show up? Maybe it might be feelings of hesitation or doubt or worry about how are you going to make this work. Maybe it might be fear. Maybe fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of failure. And just notice what feelings come up. And can you allow whatever feelings that are there to be present with you in this moment without any judgment? Just trusting and knowing whatever you're feeling in this moment is normal. These feelings typically arise whenever we're stretching ourselves outside of our comfort zone. To the mind, doing something new or different can feel scary, and that is okay. Maybe instead of judging or analyzing what you're feeling, maybe you can take a moment to just be compassionate with this part of yourself. And whenever you're ready, you can float the eyes open. And I invite you now to take your pen and your journal and journal whatever insights came up for you or whatever feelings that showed up. And I want you to ask yourself, what belief am I holding about this situation? What belief am I holding about this situation? And now ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Where did this belief come from? Perhaps it stems from your family or your culture or friends, or even a past experience, whether it was a painful moment or a moment where you were praised and now you believe you have to continue showing up this way. And now ask yourself, what would an upgraded belief look like? One that feels more empowering or supportive. What would an upgraded belief look like? And for this question, I invite you to connect to your wise self, that part of you that is calm, grounded, and leads with truth and not fear. And as you explore this, play around with different belief statements. Maybe sense which belief feels right for you. Maybe notice what happens in your body when you repeat it silently to yourself. Does it feel expansive, steady, supportive? And as we begin to wrap up, think about a small step you feel inspired to take if you anchor to this belief instead. Maybe it's something that makes you come alive, or something that aligns with the version of you you aspire to become. And now gently close your eyes again. And I want you to picture yourself taking that small step forward. What do you see? What do you hear? What are you doing? And if you feel any fear or tension rising in your body, maybe you can use your breath or even repeat your new belief to bring some softness back into your body. Maybe you can lean into the feeling of excitement or expansiveness of seeing yourself living this new path. Whenever we take a moment to visualize ourselves doing the things that we want, we're teaching our minds and our bodies that it is safe for us to move forward. Now gently release that image and know that you can return to it at any time. And take a slow breath in and a slow breath out. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Before you go back into your day, I do want to invite you to make your new belief visible. Write it somewhere where you can see it, maybe on your mirror, maybe a post-it note on your desk or a screensaver on your phone. Maybe even create a small ritual around it, something simple that you can return to each day. And if you feel called, I would love to hear what belief you chose and what small step are you choosing to take. And so I want to thank you so much for being here, for showing up for yourself. And until next time, bloom from the inside out.